got Jack Adler, founder of Out to Win, which, Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, is the world's first athletic marketing intelligence influencer company. Is that right? A lot of words there, but yeah.
That is right. It's a mouthful, but you're really like to put it in a more easy to comprehend, sentence. We're helping brands build influencer marketing campaigns with athletes. And that's just leveraging data analytics and AI to find the athletes who are the right fit for their influencer marketing campaigns. They being brands who are reaching consumers, from young to old, from sports fans to beauty, fashion, audience demos all across the country.
Excellent. And we touched upon it when we spoke earlier, but we're quite right in thinking that this very much is opening up the door to people that aren't even in the sports space, introducing people that may not necessarily have that much of an interest at the moment in sports or aren't that close to it. It's opening up the world to a whole new audience.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love that you mentioned that, because sometimes I even accidentally close my mind off to the fact that the reach of these athlete influencers is so much wider than just sports fans. And sometimes I compare it to sports marketing, because brands love to spend money to get in front of sports fans. Like, that might be the most passionate audience base in the world. I know myself, just as a sports fan, like the passion that your sports team, your favorite athletes bring to you is sometimes unmatched. But there's even an opportunity for non-sports fans to have a new way to consume sports through creators who are making easy to consume content on social media.
Absolutely. So look, Jack, by way of, I guess, introduction to yourself as well as a person, let's kick off by hearing, if that's all right, like 3 things that our audience need to know about you, Jack Adler.
In 2020, I launched a fundraiser with my twin sister called $3 Challenge. And we raised money for nonprofits using the power of social media and $3 donations to raise more than $60,000 through asking people to donate up $3, post a picture on their Instagram story of something they couldn't wait to get back to after quarantine from COVID, and nominate 3 others to complete the challenge. So that was like my first step into entrepreneurship. So that's one thing about me. 2, I graduated from Syracuse University last year, where I was awarded with the Student Entrepreneur of the Year. Again, like, these aren't creative. Now I just feel like I'm just bragging about myself. But I just really dove into entrepreneurship while I was a student at Syracuse. And then 3, launched Out to Win Sports in 2021 as a way to combine my passion for sports and entrepreneurship all into one.
An incredible few points there to share. Thank you. And if we, I guess, go back to the start of Jack Adler all those years ago, can you remember, I guess, from growing up, what your first memories were of interacting with brands? When was the first time a brand really struck a chord within you that you either got an affiliation towards, or maybe the opposite, you were totally turned off by it? Does anything come to mind?
Yeah, well, I guess from a business sense, $3 Challenge was the first time I'd ever interacted with brands, and those brands were nonprofits. So it was a really interesting kind of way for me to begin understanding how brands thought about their brand, because we were helping brands, in this case nonprofits, reach their target demo through social media marketing. And it was a really cool way to kind of get started with brand marketing. And then when I launched Out to Win, we began working with local small businesses, eventually expanding into some of the largest brands in the world like Reebok, Oakley, and Nerf. So I guess over the course of a few years, from 2020 to 2022, I'd worked with so many different kinds of brands. And the biggest learning point that I took away was just, I guess, how complex the minds are of brands when it comes to how to intentionally put yourselves out there in front of your target consumers. As a consumer, sometimes you're a little oblivious to it. It's just the content's out there, you see it, and it almost to you could have been made in 5 seconds. But brands really are super strategic and thoughtful about the way that they show themselves on a day-to-day basis.
And Jack, for you as an individual, as a person, like growing up, any brands that come to mind that from when you were growing up that sparked your creativity, your passion, your drive as you were growing
Yeah,
up?
I was always I'm a massive sports fan. I was always a really big fan of Nike, still am. And the reason for it is because of their creative marketing. Like I always felt like they drive inspiration through the way they put themselves out there. Like, just do it is in itself an inspirational line that drives you as a sports fan, as an athlete to push yourself. But I think Nike has done such a great job of intertwining themselves in sports culture by taking on events that are happening in front of everyone's eyes and making it into something that's branded towards Nike. But yeah, growing up, like I would always be like dressed head to toe in Nike shoes, socks, shirt, Nike, and it was really because of like kind of what the brand meant. A lot more than how it looked, it was what the brand meant, what it felt like to wear. It felt like you were an athlete, like you were involved in sports just from having that swoosh on your body.
And I think that really rings true, like today, for a lot of the work that we do at Pine around like brand affinity and brand love, like time and time again, young people are saying Nike holds a place to their heart. Why? Because they feel like connected to the brand, to the message. So I think that's like a really great example there. What would you say is the biggest challenge for young people today, both in terms of like growing up, like in such the world in which we do, but then also I think secondly in terms of the industry and the culture that we live in? Yeah, what's your take on young people today and the challenge that they face?
I think it's focus, it's attention, and social media. I mean, it drives attention spans lower and lower because so much of it is quick dopamine hits that a lot of young people become addicted to. Like I'm 23 years old, and I'm a part of Gen Z and understand kind of like I sometimes feel my addiction to social media myself. It's almost like impossible to stay away from because of the way it drives constant dopamine. And I think that due to like the quick hitting nature of so much of the social media content, it lowers our attention span and makes it difficult to focus. Like one of the biggest challenges that we face is that these apps are thrown in front of us almost like without a choice, and it's impossible to avoid kind of falling into the rabbit hole of them. Like I know a lot of my friends say that they, will find themselves scrolling for hours upon end without almost even realizing that 2 hours have gone by. So
and how does that make you feel as, obviously someone that's within the Gen Z cohort?
It makes me feel a little bit trapped. Like one of like my favorite app right now is an app called Opal, and it blocks off my screen time it blocks off my usage of social media apps, and it literally doesn't let me back in there because like there is a thing that allows you to block off screen time within your phone, but then you can like click, oh, give me 15 more minutes, give me 15 more minutes. And like, it really is kind of like a trapped feeling when you're utilizing social media, because you feel like there's always more to see, more to find. And there's a part of it that's great. But then when you get so trapped in it, it's like, there's definitely like, resentment that can build up towards the social media platforms.
Yeah. So Opal, favorite app at the moment, ironically, with a view to stop you like getting on social at the moment. Look,
ironically,
it makes sense. It's something that we're hearing time and time again. I know our event coming up in March, does touch upon that.
It's weird to me too, because my business is on social media, so like I need to be using social media at all parts of the day. But in terms of like my free time, like I like to limit it as much as possible, and Opal's helped me do that.
And what have been some of your biggest challenges that you faced?
There are constant obstacles, like I think on a day-to-day basis, partially because I'm a young entrepreneur, first-time founder, and I'm facing things for the first time every single day. And then the other side is challenging because we're operating in an entirely new space that a lot of people aren't fully educated on and up to date with. So I think our biggest challenges right now are, one, figuring things out as we go, building the plane as we fly it. It's never easy. I think it's fun, but it's challenging. And then the other side is kind of needing to, one, educate the market on on where like this opportunity lies today, but also where it's going. And then even, you know, as we're currently in the middle of a fundraise for our business, and as we're pitching this to investors, it's the big question is, what's the market opportunity? What's the market size? And there's no specific size of the market for athlete influencer marketing, but you have to synthesize different resources. So where's the sports marketing industry lie? Where's the influencer marketing industry lie? And where can that be at the intersection of both? So those are, you know, I guess 2 specific challenges that I've been facing on a consistent basis. But like I said, that's what startups are about. So you kind of just begin to enjoy the challenges that get thrown your way.
Do you know what? It's like, I remember when we were finding a lot of our events that we do at Pion and the business, and you know, one looks back and they are some of the best days, you know, and when you're in the thick of it, it's kind of at times it can be hard to see, but knowing that, you know, you're sort of you're creating, you're building, like you said, they really are the best days.